Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. This is a 1994 American comedy film starring Jim Carrey as Ace Ventura, a pet detective who is tasked with finding the abducted dolphin mascot of the Miami Dolphins football team. The film was directed by Tom Shadyac, who wrote the screenplay with Jack Bernstein and Jim Carrey. The co-stars Courtney Cox, Tone Loc. Remember Tone Loc, Brad? Remember Tone Loc?
Was he Funky Cold
rapper.
Medina?
Yeah.
Funky Cold Medina. Yeah. Do go on.
Sean Young is in this from Dune. Oh my goodness. The pedigree of this film. And Dan Marino, former then Miami Dolphins quarterback. And features a cameo appearance from the death metal band Cannibal Corpse. The Morgan Creek Productions produced the film on a budget of $15 million, and Warner Brothers released the film in February 94. It grossed $72 million in the United States and Canada, and $107 million worldwide. That's wonderful. It received mixed reviews from critics, and Carrey's performance led to the film having a cult following among male adolescents. Did you want to say something, Brad?
I was going to say it spawned a sequel as well, right? Brilliant.
A sequel and a...
When Nature Calls.
Yeah, and an animated television series.
Oh, that one passed me by.
And a made-for-television sequel, Ace Ventura Jr., Pet Detective.
Ooh.
Little kitty in it.
Oh, things I need to look up. Or maybe it's not worth looking up. Is it like the other Jim Carrey sequels that don't have Jim Carrey in it, like The Son of Mask?
Yeah, it's completely terrible, apparently. Completely terrible. They got a little fat kid to play Jim Carrey in the film.
Well, I'm sure that's not problematic.
No, I probably shouldn't have called him a fat kid either.
Well,
but he knows what he is.
Yeah, I think it's come full circle, and you can fat shame again now because it's to do with being healthy or something. I don't know. I could be wrong.
It starred a young fellow who was very body positive. That's the best way to put it, isn't it? Body positive.
He was very cake positive.
They were very progressive back then. They hired fat children.
Play fat children, yeah.
Yes.
Unheard of.
So years after its release, which would probably be now, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective received criticism for its portrayal of a transgender character.
Thought we were getting into this.
Well, I've got it written down and I read it.
Okay.
We can skim over it.
Sure.
Roger Ebert, reviewing for the Chicago Sun-Times, said, I found the movie a long, unfunny slog through an impenetrable plot. What a dickhead. Yeah. So, Brad, obviously we were young fellas when this came out.
I remember, as we do, we share our memories on things that we're reviewing. And I remember this back in the day. You had to see it. All the kids in the schoolyard. When we had shared movie-going experiences, and if you missed out, you were the loser that was shunned from society. So you had to go and see things like Ace Ventura and Milo and Otis and Last of the Mohicans. So
I don't know about Milo and Otis. I don't think that was like the cool kids movie, Brad. I think you're in a different scene.
You were obviously in the shun circle. Milo and Otis. The kitty falls in the river and floats away, and the dog chases him. And yeah, I've heard what you're not supposed to look into the behind the scenes of how Milo and Otis was filmed. But I've never actually gone and done it myself. I've heard rumors of the director like breaking cats' legs and stuff to get the shot he needed.
Well, they didn't have CGI back then, so they just threw dogs off buildings and cats under cars. That's how they did it.
Yeah. Well, when you got a budget, you got to stick to.
Mm.
What's one
They
cat's
didn't have
egg?
they didn't have animals' rights back then, did they?
Anyway,
Yeah.
Ace Ventura, saw it as a youngin', loved it. I think, to be fair, it shaped a lot of my humorous personality. You know, it was new, it was fresh. Jim Carrey was on point and over the top, and that's what we all needed in the early to mid 90s. And I found it a delight at the time. And spoiler alert, upon rewatching this, I enjoyed it again. I hadn't really watched it since back then. I'd always remembered it fondly. And then going back, it was just a joy of rush of nostalgia and great jokes that I already knew were coming. And I still sniggered. Not many out loud laughs, I think, on the rewatch. But that's mainly because you knew it was coming. Apart from the mental hospital scene. That whole thing, I was making some noise. It's still funny. Still classic. Just put me in there, coach. I can do it. It's brilliant. That's what I thought. How was your rewatch?
I agree with what you said about the early part back then. I think I said alrighty then for years after watching this movie.
Then.
Alrighty. Yeah, it's very quotable. I remember I was a little bit blown away when I first saw this because it was so outrageous. I don't know if we really seen anything like Jim Carrey before. Like he was a monster hit, wasn't he? He was so popular back then.
Yeah, it could do no wrong. He was getting 20 million a movie and stuff, right?
It was like, Mike Myers and Austin Powers. Yeah. It was Jim Carrey and Mike Myers. It was pretty much everyone just quoted that all the time. And it was everybody.
I think Jim Carrey was like, he was like the sun coming out on the scene. You know, everything was him. I remember all the award shows, like the MTV Movie Awards, when he was going to win a prize. It was always a big thing, and he put on some shows for his speeches. Do you remember the one where he dressed up as like a Jim Morrison type character, got up and won his MTV Movie Award? Is that familiar to you? Oh, mate, YouTube.
I think it's brilliant. I think I've seen it. If I see it, I'd remember it. But
yeah, let it roll, let it roll. Yeah. Anyway,
I saw recently. Jim Carrey came out and he was very negative about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Oh yeah.
On the Oscars.
Yeah, sure.
And so then they dragged out footage of Jim Carrey from 20 years ago where he accepted an award. He walked on stage and he planted a kiss on Alicia Silverstone. And so they were saying, but he's guilty of sexual assault.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Different times. We all wanted to kiss Alicia Silverstone back then. She's probably begging for kisses these days. You know, what's she been in lately?
I don't know, but she had a period there where she was like hot as the sun, and then we didn't see her anymore.
No, that's it. She did like, what was her breakout film? Was Clueless, right? And I guess some Aerosmith videos.
She was in the Aerosmith video first with Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
And then it was Clueless, wasn't it?
Yeah. I feel like she started in the music videos, went into Clueless, but then I remember her doing something with Brendan Fraser, Blast from the Past, where he came out of the bunker or something. And that was the last thing, that was the last thing I think I saw her in. And now she's just poof. I think what happened is she got bad plastic surgery. Oh, she wasn't Batman Forever yet. She was in there. And then she got bad plastic surgery and changed her name to Reese Witherspoon.
I don't think that's what's happened. I think there's actually another person named Reese Witherspoon.
No, that seems preposterous. That seems ridiculous. I don't know why you'd even suggest such a silly thing. Who'd name their female child Reese Witherspoon? Just sounds made up.
She kind
Ace
of
Ventura.
had duck lips. Right.
Alicia, duck lips. Okay, well,
No, the other one. No, Reese
you were going
Witherspoon
up-
kind of had duck lips.
she did. But if you were going up to accept an award, you had Alicia Silverstone, and then you had Ace Ventura era Courtney Cox. Not much older than Masters of the Universe Courtney Cox. And they both said, you have our permission. You can choose which one of us you're going to snog. And by snog, ladies and gentlemen, I mean lip to lip.
Sexually assault. Yeah.
Well, no, because there's consent, so it's not sexually assault. They've handed you a signed form that says we consent to this.
Sexual assault.
And
they consent to the sexual assault.
Well, then it's not an assault, is it? I guess it's just. I
want to role play a little.
Okay, all right.
Pretend I'm a burglar, Alicia. I'm a burglar, and you're studying for your exams,
your midterms.
Yeah. And then you realize I'm your professor.
Yeah, and then because Courtney Cox is there helping you study, so
she's the French
Professor
maid
burglar,
who's overstayed her visa.
No.
I'm also a professor of immigration.
Okay, so you're there checking green cards of your students dressed as in a balaclava. Burglar.
Yes.
And Courtney Cox, not Master of the Universe era or Friends era Courtney Cox, but Ace Ventura era Courtney Cox. Because they're all
Should be dancing in the dark, Courtney Cox?
No. See, that's Masters of the Universe era Courtney Cox, and they're all very different looks. If you line them all up next to each other, there is defined eras of Courtney Cox, even post Friends and into today, right? At least every 5 years, the alien skin doesn't work the same. So
dancing in the dark, Courtney Cox is the youngest Courtney Cox I'm aware of.
Sure, that was around the same time as Master of the Universe, but that Courtney Cox is not part of this discussion, Dan. So put childlike Courtney Cox behind you, and Ace Ventura Courtney Cox. So first round of plastic surgery boobs, maybe a little bit of face work, and an odd haircut, right?
Yeah,
and
penetrating blue eyes.
Penetrating blue eyes. And what era, Alicia, are we looking at here? We're going Clueless or Batman Forever?
Definitely.
It's tough.
She's a schoolgirl dressed in a Batgirl outfit.
Okay, so she's essentially from Batman Forever. Right, okay. So to quickly wrap up this segment, which one are you selecting to burgle / consensually sexually assault?
Well, because it's not dancing in the dark, Courtney Cox.
I told you to put her out of your mind. No, just let her go. She's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't, bro.
She's
not there, so it's not really relevant, is it? I've got this slightly older Courtney Cox, so it's not really working for me.
That's right. Like
but this is
through the hourglass.
This is Alicia Silverstone from Batman Forever walking down the stairs in her schoolgirl outfit.
Sure.
Yes, it's definitely a sexual assault for me.
Well, no, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking which one would you...
She's not going to get into college without me.
So
her whole life is riding on this, Brad.
Yeah, but so you're going with
taking
Alicia.
It seriously. Yes.
Well, I'm asking Alicia or Courtney, and you're telling me there's a sexual assault happening.
Her whole school career is riding on this, Brad. Okay. You're not taking her education seriously.
Sure.
This is a selfless act, and you're treating me like a criminal.
You're the one who keeps using the wrong terminology. I just wanted you to go up and have a sweet, delicate peck on the cheek. Here's you, like, putting fingers in.
I didn't say anything about that. I mean, I'd probably just leave her head on the stairs.
Right. I believe this was a movie episode. What film were we discussing this evening?
You're going to tell me when we start recording?
This is just for the police transcript.
Yeah. I didn't go through with it. I just wrote it down a few times.
It's just a hypothetical. Just a few rewrites, a few edits.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's in a big black binder labeled The Plan, but
yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
No, and she did disappear a few years ago. I think
allegedly, Brad. Allegedly.
The last time
Until
I saw
there's
her
a
in
body,
a film,
there's no crime.
The last time I saw Alicia Silverstone in a film, I think sort of coincided with your American Holiday, didn't it? Now that I think about it, the coincidences are just... I'm putting... on my wall, I have red string going between lots of photos, and your face is in the middle. And there's Dancing in the Dark, Courtney Cox over there with no red string going to her. And then there's Alicia Silverstone with all the strings leading to her.
Yeah.
And Joshua Tree National Park. That's all I got.
I might have something to confess. But
is it that you like Dan Marino?
We'll wait till I start recording and then I'll tell you all about it. Then we don't have to do it twice.
Do you have, is this peak Jim Carrey? Is this your favorite? Is this as good as Jim Carrey gets, Ace Ventura, or is he done better?
On rewatching this, there wasn't much to it, to be honest. Like there was a couple of kind of soft laughs here and there, but quite often it's sort of dull. By the halfway point, I'm sort of drifting out of it. The ending, I kind of find it never really worked for me, to be honest. The ending didn't work back then, and it didn't really work for me now.
Yeah, it's like a skit. I mean, it's kind of like you mentioned Mike Myers earlier. It's a skit idea that has been like, essentially, let's put this cartoonish character, whether it's Wayne Campbell or Austin Powers, Ace Ventura, The Mask. Let's put this cartoonish character in the real world and come up with a bunch of scenarios, right? And slap a featherweight plot in the middle. And I think, as you say on the rewatch, there's jokes there that I think still hit, that are still genius, like the when the guy dies and he gets thrown off the balcony and Ace goes into the, all the police, they're doing their police work and they're saying, you couldn't solve the case. And then he breaks it down, but he goes out and he grabs the, there's no way that lady across the hall could hear him scream as he fell off the balcony. And they're like, oh, why? How'd you come up with that? And he does the whole soundproof glass sliding door. I think that's comedic gold, right? You could have done that in a skit and it works. Could have been in any other comedy movie or a Mel Brooks movie, it's that kind of, that's funny.
It's a really good character moment. It shows that he's actually really good at what he's doing. He's showing up the police, and it all works comedically. That's a good scene.
Yeah, so use a brilliant comedy moment to, as you say, develop character. Boom, great, genius. And then the whole insane asylum, like I said earlier, that's golden. The play it forward and then reverse scene, tears in my eyes. It's still funny, just purely because of how animated Jim Carrey is. That motherfucker could be funny, right?
He's got all the energy in the world. He's giving it everything he's got, Captain. And
so much cocaine. He's just snorting the floor dry. Right.
I enjoy the opening of the film when he's like breaking the box on the way to the guy's door. It's a great opening.
Yeah.
Stuck and he swipes the dog. I think the dinner parties got some funny stuff in there when he's got the Mission Impossible thing going and he's like swinging across walls and he's, an inch above the ground.
Yeah. I thought that was brilliant. That was, I was smirking hard. The over exaggeration of something that you've seen 1,000,000 times in 100 other movies, and it just makes it look like you're a 5-year-old kid playing Mission Impossible, but he's an adult, and it's funny.
Yeah, and he's actually getting further than everybody else.
Yeah,
he's doing good.
That's it. And there's also, I think I've spoken to you about this before, but this is what we do. There's subtle humor in there as well that is golden. Like at that dinner party where he's just walked in with Courtney Cox. It's a real classy affair. He's not very classy. They talk to the guy that's running it or whatever, and then they move on, and it's like string quartets are playing. And they walk past the string quartet and they're playing this beautiful music. And Ace Ventura just sort of grabs the violin in his arm as he walks past and pulls it and carries on walking by. Like,
yeah, I think that's the best joke in the movie. I think that's a nice little moment you weren't expecting.
That's it. And it's funny because it's something that everybody secretly wants to do in the back of their mind. They say, fuck those string quartet players. They're too perfect. Wonder what would happen if I just, bumped that dude's arm. And they do it in the film. That's great. Yeah, but I think you're right. The first half is the best. It's the character doing his thing. And then when it gets too far into the detective and he goes looking for Ray Finkel and stuff, yeah, you're right. I kind of drifted off there as well.
What I found really interesting is actually the story of the director, Tom Shadyac. He had huge hit movies. He had this movie. He had Bruce Almighty and Evan Almighty, and he did Liar Liar and a whole bunch of hit films. He was huge.
Well, they're all Jim Carrey films. So is it Jim Carrey or is it the director?
Well, it's the team. It's the team.
Okay. It's the A-team.
So they had all these huge hit films. He walked away from Hollywood because he had a bicycle accident. He hit his head. And he started getting a ringing in his ears that wouldn't stop, and he ended up sleeping in his closet. And with this ringing in his ears, that was very painful. He couldn't get it to stop. He ended up giving away. He sold a huge house, and he gave away most of his money. And he works as a university professor now, teaching film school, and he writes books about. Kind of the evils of materialism and about just having a happy life without all the extra stuff on top.
Well, I mean, what isn't Jim Carrey gone a bit down the crazy alley lately as well? Grown his big beard and getting rid of materialism.
Like had some kind of existential crisis, or I don't know if he's joking or serious sometimes, but he gets very profound about none of us exist and we're a moment in the universe and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, we all have those moments, I suppose. Do you think the two of them had anything to do with Alicia Silverstone's disappearance?
I don't know, but didn't a girlfriend of Jim Carrey's die and he was sued for some kind of wrongful part in it? I don't know if I don't really know what happened, but he got into a bit of trouble for a while.
Okay, well, I don't remember that. We shouldn't talk about it or we'll be liable for a lawsuit.
Probably.
Seems like a litigious kind of guy. Like, what's he doing now? Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
Oh, Jesus. So, yeah, he's hit that stage of the career.
Yeah.
But the Sonic the Hedgehog 1 was like a big hit there.
Was that? Well, what do I know then? I guess maybe he's just banking it, taking those checks to the Bank of Carey.
Yeah, I've heard it was a big hit. Yeah, I don't know how seriously I can take people when they talk about their existential crises and then they're starring in Sonic the Hedgehog for 10 million or whatever.
Yeah. I wonder what he does get paid per film now. At his peak, 20 mil, man. 20 mil. You could do one
more than
film.
Us, Brad. More than one film, and he's done more than us in our entire lives, I imagine.
You mean this week? Yeah. Aren't you getting those podcast royalty checks anymore?
Well, I was trying to be humble for the peasants who listen to us.
Humble gets you nowhere. Peasants.
So anyway, on IMDb, have a guess what they rated it. Your favorite number, Brad?
6.
Close. Add to it.
7.
A little lower. Close. Think of a number that would amuse you. Put a decimal point between it. Oh,
inches.
Would that make you laugh?
6.9.
Hey, how'd you guess?
69, dude.
Yeah, 6.9 on IMDb. Someone gave it a 9 and said, sure, this is a cheeseball comedy, but Jim Carrey makes it memorable. I got another 9. Someone says, what's a movie like this doing with a rating of 63%? Someone gave it a 4 and said, believe it or not, this was a hit movie. And someone gave it a 1 and said, Jim Carrey proves you are what you imitate. I guess that means a dork.
Okay. A dork with 20 mil in his pocket.
I think it's be over 100.
Man.
Yeah. If you were to double feature this with another film as a recommendation to our wonderful audience, don't make as much money as us, but we forgive you.
Yeah, well, they'd be interested in what us rich folk recommend.
Yeah. Up in the ivory tower, what are we watching?
On our 700-inch screen. I mean, the obvious double features, Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, right? Bam, bam, 1, 2. And I would recommend that film. I think it actually, overall, is funnier than the first one, When Nature Calls. It's hard to beat the scene of Jim Carrey crawling out of the asshole of a rubber rhinoceros. That's top tier cinema. Hard to be beaten.
Have you seen that Sacha Baron Cohen film, Bigsby?
No, I don't like his stuff, eh?
He's in an elephant's asshole or something, and another elephant jumps on behind, starts rooting it, and he gets covered in jizz.
See, that's delightful.
That's a funny scene. Possibly that tops it.
Well, I don't know. I like my humor slightly cleaner. You know, like I like the jizz to happen off screen. You know, it's like a good horror movie kill. It's what you don't see that makes it horrible. You know,
it's pretty horrible when you actually see it. You know, if you saw an elephant jizz all over you, you wouldn't go, that's disappointing. I wish I didn't see that. That would have been more horrifying if I didn't see it coming.
Is it as entertaining as watching oh God, what's his name? Green. What's his name? Comedian. Jerking off the horse and Freddy got fingered.
Oh, Tom Green.
Tom Green, that's it. Yeah, I
found that romantic.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? Anyway, so
favorite scenes. I rewatch it every day.
When Nature Calls. I'm gonna mix it up. I still gonna stick with Jim Carrey, but I'm gonna throw one of his not completely serious, but also worth a watch. Did we do an episode on this? I don't know. The Truman Show. So, Ace Ventura.
We've done Truman Show.
And The Truman Show. So go and check out that episode.
What are you picking? You've done 2.
No. I said the obvious choice would be Ace Ventura 2, but I didn't say that was my choice. I'm fucking stretching this episode out. I mean, we spent 20 minutes talking about Courtney Cox.
Yeah, we're 29 minutes now, bro. Jesus.
Fucking perfect timing. What a couple of fucking professionals we are. So, yes, The Truman Show. Shut up. You go. What are you double featuring it with?
Yes, man.
Yes, man.
Yeah, Yes, man. You sing Yes, man? Zoe Deschanel's in it with Jim Carrey, and he's in a bank.
Yeah, the ultimate pixie dream girl.
Oh, God, I'd cut her head off and leave it on the stairs.
With some fucking elephant jizz.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
All right.
That's a good thought.
Wonderful.
I might need to have a little rest break now. But yeah, you got me thinking.
Okay. As long as it's
Getting
not
hot.
about dancing in the dark, Courtney Cox, because she.
Oh, you've ruined it.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have Springsteen doing the two-step next to her as well.
Penis just slid down my leg, Brad. All flaccid.
On that note, I'm out.
Oh, what are we rating
everybody.
it? I'm giving it 5 out of. I'm going to give it 5 jizzes in a elephant's bum out of 10.
5, man. Look, it's Ace Ventura. I'm going to give it 7.5 sidestepping Courtney Coxes.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Out of 10. Yeah.
All right, we'll end it there.
That was good.